Hello, my lovely roses. What's up? It is Savannah Rose from This Bohemian Rose. I hope you're having a good day, good evening. Californians, I really hope you are staying healthy and out of the outside as much as possible because the weather is absolutely atrocious right now. I actually ended up getting sent home early from work because my asthma was working up and my asthma was getting worked up and my chest started to burn. So I hope if you had any kind of problems like that, you were able to get away from them and recover. Just want to take a second to send some positive vibes and love to the families and people who are affected by the fires in California right now. I can't even imagine what you're going through, and I am going to be participating in whatever I can to make sure I send some help your way, and I will make a video about it. But essentially, I am so sorry for everything you've had to go through, and I am sending you lots of love and hoping so dearly that you are able to repair what has been damaged by this natural disaster. It's absolutely crazy just being in the Bay Area and having this cloud of smoke overhead, so I can't even imagine what it was like being involved in or anywhere near the fires. So my good vibes are with you, and my sincere apologies and sympathy, and I can't empathize, but you know what I mean. I'm so sorry for what you're going through. What I wanted to talk about in this video was kind of a little bit of the situation I'm going through right now in terms of living and not having my own place to stay. If you don't know me, basically my family in the past 2 months, 3 months, have all moved to different parts of the country and out of California. So my mom moved to New York, my dad moved to Texas, and I stayed in California and am currently couch surfing and living with friends and family. So I wanted to make a little video kind of touching on the main things to know if you're ending up in a situation like that, or if you've ever considered maybe like you're in debt and you need to kind of recover, bounce back a little bit, what to expect when staying with people that you love. Because there were a few things that I didn't ever really consider until I was in the situation and was like, oh, okay, I didn't think about this part. Maybe I should have, I wish I would have known this before. Biggest thing I want to highlight is that it is very, 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 very essential as a house guest, if you want to continue to be welcomed into the home, that you're very respectful, that you clean up after yourself, and that you're very timely. Like if the people you're staying with need to be out of the house and they don't want you there, make sure that you are ready and out of there 30 minutes before they are. Just give the courtesy to the people that you're staying with because they're doing you a huge favor by providing you a roof over your head or providing you food on the table. Yeah, just don't bite the hand that feeds you and make sure that you give back to the people who are there for you. I spent the past couple hours cleaning the kitchen of the home I'm staying in right now, and that person has not gotten home yet, but I am excited to see their reaction to a very, very nice clean kitchen. Second thing I really want to emphasize is having a plan and executing it. There are differences. What I mean by this essentially is that when I was first talking about staying and couch surfing and living with friends and family, my number one thing was I'm gonna get to go to bed early, I'm gonna wake up early, I'm gonna be out of the house before anybody's up, or I'm just gonna be awake before everybody's up and have time to work on my stuff and get my life together. And I thought that this was just gonna happen right off the jump. I would automatically have all this energy and motivation after this super traumatic life experience to just hit the ball rolling. Get the ball rolling, hit the ground running. And that's not actually how it works out. At least in a lot of situations, or some situations, my situation particularly. It is very easy to stay in someone's home and then feel like I'm staying in your home, I want to give you attention, I want to spend time with you when you want to spend time with me. And while that is absolutely wonderful and it is so imperative that you do so because you want your house owner, you want the people who are housing you to feel like you appreciate them and you appreciate the space that they've given you by giving them, some of your time to see you, to catch up with you, to talk with you about their day. Make sure that you give immense amounts of consideration to just the relationship and maintaining that. But on the other end of things, it's really easy to assume oh, I'm just gonna get my life together and everything's gonna be super easy, and have that kind of entitlement from when you did have your own room or your own place to stay, where you're I'm gonna go home at the end of the day, I'm gonna go to work, or I'm gonna go I'm going to go home at the end of the day after work, and I'm just gonna relax, or I'm gonna go to bed early tonight. And if you're staying at somebody else's house, they might still be awake. If they don't have a room for you that's like separate from everything else that's going on in the house, they might still be awake. They might keep you up, or they might want to spend time with you and do something towards the later hours of the night. And so sometimes it's just not going to be as possible to come home and go to sleep, because you want to make your landlord, your temporary landlord, feel like you appreciate them and that you want to spend time with them, not just use them for their home. Big thing I really wanted to touch on was essentially giving yourself the time to adjust to the situation. The first night that I stayed in a friend's home, I was all stoked just to be in the situation. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have all this motivation to drive, since like I kind of have to, because I don't really have like my own spot anymore, to get my life together. And then the next morning I woke up like 4 hours after my first alarm. It is so easy to assume that it's going to be easy, but set some realistic expectations for yourself so that you don't start off on the wrong foot. Give yourself some time to adjust, move up to the schedule, the routine, the whatever you want to work up to, because if it's a traumatic experience you've gone through, if it's like family leaving and you're upset about it and you're having a hard time like mentally and physically dealing with that, or whatever the case may be, maybe it's just like you're having a hard time getting sleep and maintaining your health while also like living with people because it's new to you. Give yourself some time to adjust to the lifestyle, because it is certainly a drastic change from having everything in one spot. Just since like having everything in my car and having to go in and out, and every single time I like have a change of clothes, I need to go in my car and I need to come out. Or if I sleep in a new place, I have to grab my duffel bag, I have to grab my bathroom bag, and just everything. It's a lot, and it's going to take a lot of energy. I know it's going to take a lot more mental energy and consideration than it did to just go home, have your own place. I keep knocking over this slowly, but give yourself the time to adjust. This whole first week, I went in with those expectations of everything's going to be great right off the bat, and they weren't. And now I'm like, okay, I'm going to give it 2 to 3 weeks to balance out before I expect myself to be like, hey, you know what? I need to be on a roll. I need to be handling things a lot more efficiently than I am right now. And if you give yourself that love, that time, that room to appreciate where you are and appreciate the situation for what it is, then you'll start to gain some momentum and some real drive to actually do better for yourself. Sorry, I hit my hand and I have like a funny bone in my hand, I guess, but it hurt and I got distracted. All of that being said, appreciate the people you're staying with. Make sure that you show them that you appreciate them and give back in whatever way that you can, so that you don't feel like or make them feel like you're freeloading. Make sure that you spend quality time with the people you're staying with so that they know you appreciate them for your relationship and not just for a home. Even if that might be a parent, just still spend the time with them so that they can love you and appreciate your presence and you can appreciate theirs. Give yourself time, because this whole living situation is a change. It is a big change. It is a draining change. This is strange. It is a big change and you need time to adjust to it. Otherwise, it won't work. And if you have the option to give up, you may give up, or just sink into a pit of despair that you didn't expect, and then since you didn't expect it, it hits you like blindsided, and then you're just like, oh, well, that's my life now. I keep fucking clapping. I don't know why I'm clapping. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any questions or if you want any suggestions about couch surfing, making it work, staying with people that you love, and not having like your own centralized spot, let me know. Feel free to leave a comment, send me a direct message, whatever the case may be. I want to hear what you got going on, and I want to be able to give you as much advice from somebody who's going through the same thing. One of these days I'm going to post a video of kind of my car setup. I want to get it a little more set up before I do that and like cleaned and stuff, but yeah. On that note, thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe if you liked it. If you didn't, then don't do that because that wouldn't make any sense. But have a great rest of your night, and I can't wait to check in with you guys next time. I love you. Bye, guys.